Hello guys and welcome to Kenya Fan TV, and what a weekend. Liverpool won in the nick of time, Manchester City won in the nick of time, Man United lost to Bournemouth, Arsenal drew at home. And today we are going to talk about the forwards in each and every teams, and we understand the role they are playing in this game. Welcome Steve, how are you?
I'm fine, health-wise.
Yes.
But football-wise, I'm not.
Why?
We're still having problems, but it's part of life.
Yes.
We just gotta unakubali na unasonga mbele. Haina haja ya kushinda hapo.
Gidi?
I think niko sawa. Inauma lakini itabidi tuzoee tu.
Mzoee kwa nini sasa?
The poor results. Yeah.
Both of them support Arsenal. If you are wondering where they are complaining, is that they never imagine that they are going to have a draw against Wolves.
At home.
Yeah, at home. And those are 2 draws and twice.
Yeah.
That meaning you have in the last 3 games you have lost 7 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Arsenal for you. It has been like that. Let's today talk about the forwards. When you come to Man United, we have Rashford. When you go to Chelsea, Abraham is really doing well. When you go to Man City, you have Aguero and Sterling. And when you talk about Liverpool, they call them the three stars. That's Firmino, Mane, and Salah. And when you come to Arsenal, is Aubameyang and Lacazette. And then we have Leicester, one and the only Jamie Vardy. So let's start with Rashford. What's your take on Rashford?
Rashford, for me, there's a Rashford who came into the Premier League. I don't see that Rashford anymore. Yes, he's a threatening forward.
Yeah.
And he's an able forward.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's because of the change of coaches who come with different tactics, because one day you'll find him in the wing, Marshall playing at the front, or maybe Marshall at the wing, and Rashford at the front. But since the introduction of Ole, Marshall comes in as a if both of them are in a game, Marshall will be the one who's striking.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Rashford who scored us 2 goals in his debut is not the same Rashford we see right now.
What's your take, Gide?
I think what Steve was said, I concur with that, because Rashford back then was very good. He was clinical, but nowadays he's not as clinical as he was back then.
But you see, Rashford has scored 5 goals, and this is the thing. He has 5 goals in the Premier League. He has scored against Chelsea 2 goals. He has scored against Leicester, 1 against Liverpool, Norwich, and 1 assist in Arsenal. This is a guy, when they meet big clubs, he's performing. The question is, why is he not performing when they meet, let's call them the small teams?
I think one of the things I've noticed about Rashford is as a striker, he has poor positioning.
Yes.
Yeah, and his finishing is awful.
Yes.
Yeah, at times. Actually, most times. Yeah.
Still, when he says his positioning is very poor, Martial is back after a long spell of injury. Both of them, when they pair together, what do you think they are? And they did that during Norwich, the game they won. They won against Chelsea in the Carabao, and now against Bournemouth they lost. So is the both of them pairing working?
The pair is nice because one thing, the duo will always get you in counter attack. That duo is lethal when you play counter attack.
Yes.
And again, I'll add on what you've said that he's performed against big clubs. And yet he's saying that he's not stepping up to the Rashford who he was. I'll say he's not, because I'll give it as a whole, because Rashford has been performing, and Manchester United is performing against big clubs. That is what we know ever.
Yes.
Manchester can lose to even Wigan Athletic, to Derby County, to all those small teams. But on their award state, they will always step up. I don't know what gets into them, because I think, and that is why, from my perspective, I feel like his contribution to play better is like how Manchester plays better against big clubs. That is, we witnessed.
Both Rashford and Martial have 8 goals. Is it shameful for a big club like Manchester United?
No, it's not. For the Manchester we're seeing right now as a big club, it's not. Actually, they're still a struggling club.
Are you saying to you, Giddy, Manchester United is no longer a big club? It's a club with a big name, but it's not a big club when it comes to playing football?
Yeah, currently, I think so. They are not they are a big club by name, but not in terms of on-pitch performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another big club with a big name is Arsenal, eh? And we have our guy Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. What do you think about him?
I think Aubameyang is a fantastic striker.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got those instincts for a little finisher, and I think we've all seen that, despite the fact that he's not yet leading the charts for the top scorer.
To you, Steve,
at the moment.
Sorry. To you, Steve, Aubameyang now has 8 goals in 11 games. What does that mean to the club?
I'll say, let's give credit where it's due. Our last discussion, I was complaining about us lacking the creative midfielders to create the chances.
Yes.
You can attest from, as much as it's one goal, you can see what happened in the previous game against Wolves. There was that connection of someone creating that goal. Because you see, it gave chance for Mesut to create chances, and Lacazette giving the assist to Aubameyang. That is the kind of play we need. He's been playing good. And you see, he went for a dry spell of 2 games because Oba had a great start of the season. But then our tactics keep on being an obstacle to his prosperity in the striking force. But now you see the game that we played against Wolves. There was that connection. At least you could feel the power of the Arsenal forward. You could feel the power, because they need someone who can they need that one guy with the mind to observe this is the state of the game, and this is how we're supposed to make this ball go forward and create more goals. And that is what we've been lacking. And you see, the moment that they brought that person in, Oba scored a goal.
Gidi, I'm asking you, Auba has scored 11 goals and has played 11 games, has scored 8 goals. And the question is he the black savior in Arsenal? Because all the games that Arsenal has won, the goal, he's the one who has scored the winning goal.
Actually, it came to a point when we had 12 points.
Yes.
Aubameyang had actually contributed to... He had actually won us all those 12 points in the league.
Yes.
And I think it's due to his individual brilliance, even with the sometimes with little or no service, due to maybe poor tactics. He has always stepped up to save us. Yeah. So I think you can say he actually is a black savior.
He's the black Jesus.
Yeah.
Now let's look at Lacazette. Let me cut you short. Is he the guy who is going to bring down the pressure of Auba delivering for Arsenal?
I think the duo is it won't bring pressure. It's like complementing each other. Because like I said, Lacazette gave Oba an assist. And then there's an incident where Oba crossed the ball to Lacazette, just that it was headed out.
Yeah.
The duo will work in a way that it's either I've assisted you, or you've assisted me, or maybe we've assisted each other and we both have goals. That is how I see that duo.
Now let's cross to our neighbors, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Our young guy by the name Abrahams.
Tammy.
Abrahams.
Yeah.
He's played 11 games, scored 9 goals, 2 assists. That's in Premier League. He's played in 3 Champions League games and has 1 goal. This is a young guy in Premier League, and we can see his performance. What do you think of him as a...
Okay, I think Tammy Abraham is a great striker.
Yeah.
Very good young striker.
Yes.
Good finisher.
Yeah.
I was actually amazed by the finish he did at Watford.
Yes.
It was those are the kind of finishes we only witness with the likes of Aubameyang and the likes of Aguero.
Must Arsenal be named in each and every finish?
Yes, they must.
Give credit where it's due.
We have one of the best finishers in Europe, so...
But the team is dragging behind.
Okay, the team, but we are talking about individually.
Okay.
So I think Tammy Abraham is a great striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, his movement inside the box is just okay.
Yeah.
He's got a striker's instinct.
Yes.
He has a nose for goals.
Yeah.
I think that's what I have to say about him. He's good, but we'll have to give him some time. We'll see whether he puts up with these kind of performances over time.
Giddy is still doubtful of Abraham, yet he has scored 9 goals in 11 Premier League appearances. And this is what I want you to understand. 2 goals he scored against Norwich, 3 goals against Wolves, 2 against Sheffield United, 1 against Southampton, and 1 against Watford. Chelsea, they have played Liverpool and Man United. Is he a guy who does not perform when it's come to the big stage?
I wouldn't term it as that, because one thing I know, I'll disagree with him saying that we give Tammy time. I observed Tammy since he was at Swansea on loan.
Yes.
Tammy spent a season at Swansea on loan, and Tammy was even in my fantasy Premier League, because I felt the instinct of a striker in him. He's a guy who can perform. As much as the times he had some spells in Swansea, that is before they were relegated to the championships. Tammy is one of the best forwards, I can say, one of the best young forwards, actually in English Premier League.
Yes.
He's very young. He's one of the very, actually, I'll say he's number 1 in the youngest,
but
in the young strikers. And again, he can even be ranked better, even in the existing forwards.
But you see, he's not performing against the bigger clubs. You see, for a striker, you have to deliver for your team when it comes to the big matches. He has scored against the small teams. The question is,
how many big clubs have they met?
They have played against Liverpool and twice and
Manchester United.
Yes.
Yes, I wouldn't
the question
is, the fact.
Is he going to perform when Chelsea meet Arsenal,
Man City,
Tottenham? Is he going to perform?
I feel I can't be the prophet here.
Yeah.
But one thing I know, he's a good player. He's one of the best strikers in England. That one I can attest.
What's your take on that Giddy? When he meet the big clubs, is he chickening out?
I think I've actually watched him play against Liverpool in the Super Cup and in the league.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen much from him in the big games because he goes missing.
Yes.
Yeah. Probably because he comes face to face with some of the best defenders.
Yeah.
I just don't know, because when I watch Tammy against these other teams, he's not the same when he faces these big clubs. Yeah, but as I said, we just give him time.
There's one guy who doesn't fear big teams, Sergio Aguero. By now, he has scored 9 goals in 10 Premier League games. And this is the guy who has played 2 Champions Leagues and scored 2 goals. What's your take on Aguero now?
Aguero is one of the lethal strikers we have in England.
Yes.
But let's see it this way. Man City haven't put to the test this season. And you see they're winning sloppily against small teams.
Aguero scored the winning goal.
Yes, I agree. Yes. That's what I'm saying. They've scooped sloppy wins against small teams. Yes. I wonder what is going to happen during this week against Liverpool. Because Liverpool are one of the teams that are looking forward to defeat the guys
Man City.
Narrowly scooped the win of the championship from them.
When you talk about it, you have such a good point. Now let's focus between Man City and Liverpool, and we focus on the forwards. Man City have Aguero and Sterling. Liverpool have Salah
and Sane.
Sane and Firmino. What do you think about that? Who is going to dominate this game the coming weekend?
For me, I think Man City will come out as the winners because I've actually, by watching Liverpool and Man City games, I think Man City still have that. You can clearly see Pep's philosophy still in the team, even if they're struggling. The game is still there.
But know they're in Anfield.
But okay, it's not a big problem for Pep.
Yes.
Yeah, he might actually come out with a good result. Maybe a draw at worst, because even for as much as Man City have been sloppy this season, Liverpool haven't been that great. They've just been surviving through games with, of course, the help of VAR.
Yeah. Now when you talk about VR, just leave about VR because you just bring about Arsenal. Eh? If you look at Aguero and Sterling, both of them have scored 16 goals. Come to Mane, Firmino, and Salah. Mane has scored 6 goals. Salah has scored 5 goals. Those are 11 goals. This striking force, will Van Dijk be in a position to handle the force of Sterling and Aguero? That's the thing.
Okay, according to that, it might go either way. Van Dijk is a great defender. I think.
Let's not even say Van Dijk. The back line of Liverpool, will they be in a position to handle this goal? Because you see, their front, they have scored how many goals? 11 goals. And remember, Chelsea have only played against big teams. That is only Man United and Arsenal. Eh? That's where these guys have accumulated all the goals, most of the games. But when they play Man City, they are playing against guys who have scored 16 goals, 2 of them.
For me, I think that match is open because Man City aren't that great with their defense right now. They're having injury problems, so maybe Liverpool front line could give them troubles. But also Man City have a great attack which we can't undermine. And apart from Van Dijk, the likes of Robertson is good. They are both good going forward, but not that great in defending, especially Alexander-Arnold. So, and Alexander-Arnold is coming against Sterling. So it might actually be a hard battle for him. I think for as much as Liverpool front line, Salah hasn't been that great this season.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has scored like 5 goals. He has only performed in Champions League.
Na zingine nza bahati tu.
Penalties.
Yeah, penalties, some goals. It's just by luck.
Yeah.
But I think Man City will come out as winners here.
Steve.
Yes.
Let's talk about Mane, Liverpool. He has scored 6 goals, and Guardiola accused Mane of diving.
One thing I'll say about those two teams, the Man City we saw last season is not the same this season.
Yes.
Same as the Liverpool we saw last season.
Yes.
Is not the same Liverpool this season. I don't know. It's because Liverpool were chasing the Champions League too much that they got tired. Because it happens when you win when you win the title, when you come back as a lesser energetic team as you were the previous season. The same way as Man City, they won the Liverpool, they won the Champions League. They've come back even slower. The Salah impact that you could see in a game, we couldn't see it in Aston Villa game this weekend. So, as an example, Salah is not seen running around the Salah we used to know. He's there breaking the defense, breaking the midfield, and getting you goals and assists. Because the Salah we knew at this time, 11 games, he could be having either 11 goals in 11 games or even 12 goals in 11 games. That is the Salah we are used to for the past 2 seasons.
Do you think fatigue is contributing to the Salah we have this season? Because you see, he took part in African Cup of Nations.
And that is why I said the issue of the pressure of winning a title last season is affecting the two teams. Because you see, at the same time, the pressure of like Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester United, the pressure of getting the top 4, and
Steve must still bring Arsenal.
I've mentioned 3 teams. No, I've mentioned Arsenal. I've mentioned Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester United. I'm saying the issue of fatigue. I've mentioned the top 2 teams.
Which fatigue in Arsenal team?
Actually, let me tell you a time.
Pepe also took part in Africa
Cup of Nations.
Yes.
So what I'm talking about is look at the same thing, because.
But how many players took in African Cup of Nations in Arsenal team? There are just 2. Auba did not. It's only Pepe. Yes. I'm just saying. And which pressure are you saying? Those guys had time to rest. And
but some played in the Copa America.
Huh? Who?
They played in the Copa America.
Yes.
Played.
Only Torreira.
No, also the Bosnian Hulk played.
Huh? You Arsenal guys. Who?
Mkhitaryan played.
But he's not in Arsenal. Now.
He was before you went.
He was before you went.
But how many games did he play in this season?
Anyway, what I'm saying, you're changing my argument.
You always have excuse.
No, but I didn't mention Arsenal alone. I mentioned Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester United. I was talking about the Premier League. We also have we had also the battle of the top 4.
Yes.
Last season, we had that battle of the top 4, which affected us this season. My point is, the only team that right now is very little, just that they had a shaky start, is Leicester. Leicester are the ones with Leicester is the only team that has been having convincing. When they win convincingly.
Yes.
They don't have the issue of VAR helping them. They don't have the issue of maybe we are missing this guy or we're missing this guy. Leicester is a team, and the time we mentioned last time, I told guys that Leicester is a team that is they don't have at the bench they don't have guys. But one thing I know about Leicester right now are playing with a depth of players.
Let's come to Leicester now. Jamie Vardy, he has 10 goals. Is he the guy who is going to deliver another title to? Because now you can't rule them out of the title race. We are 11 games. They are the guys we are expecting them to drop after 6 games. But now you see, they are still catching up. And you know, the game between Man City and Liverpool, whoever wins that and Leicester wins, what will happen? If Liverpool wins, Leicester wins, they cut the deficit. They jump over there. They leapfrog Man City. Jamie Vardy, what do you think about him?
I think Jamie Vardy is a good striker. Yeah, he's a fantastic striker. Who I think he always shows up when it matters a lot for them.
He's been showing up now. He has 10 goals. He's the one who is leading the pack.
Yeah, so I think he performs when it matters. And he might actually leading Leicester to another race title this season.
Are you ruling out Leicester out of the title race?
No, I wouldn't. There's something we spoke with AP some time back, like a week ago. I told him that when no matter what position you are, be it position 10 or even 20, look at the one who's at the top, not who is in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a battle, you don't see, you don't look at, if you want to be lethal, you don't look at your closest rival. You look at your biggest rival, so that when you practice, even if when you're practicing for your biggest rival, remember that biggest rival is the rival of the one that you think you're in the same level. So when you practice for that rival, when you meet the one that you're in the same level, to crush them is very easy. So I told them, when the league is on, and the number one has not left you with more than 10 points. Actually, the most that number one should leave you with is 10 points. Considering the factor of the games that have been played before the rush hour of getting points to finish the league. You should be in the bracket of 10 goals, so that in case they drop, you gain.
Yes.
They drop, you gain. So my point of view is that I'll say this straightforward. Leicester are in the bracket of the league even more than Man City. Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
This is because since Leicester started scooping wins, they've been scooping wins. And in that period, Man City has dropped.
Yes.
So I would say Leicester have a better and a bigger chance of securing the title, or let me say being in the title race, than any other team that is in the top 4 or 5.
Arsenal in the last 3 games have just accumulated 2 points, and they are traveling to Leicester Stadium, King's Power Stadium. Giddy, this game, it's a do or die for Unai. What's your prediction on this game?
Mambo, let me tell you one thing. That's a very tough game. It's an away game.
Yes.
And we know how Arsenal have been performing in away matches. So, yeah, I don't expect anything good. For as much as it's my team, I don't expect anything better than what we've seen in the away matches before. So, Leicester have a better team than us. Okay, they don't really have a better team, but they have a team which is motivated, much more motivated than us. But I think we have better quality than them, which is actually not being utilized by a coach.
Do you think it's time we give Unai time to figure out the best team for Arsenal?
Okay, when Wenger came, he came as Mr. Nobody.
Yes.
But he came with a philosophy.
Yes.
You get? But as for Emery, he came with a philosophy which everyone could clearly see on the pitch in terms of performance.
Yes.
You could actually defeat Wenger, but in terms of performance, Arsenal has
delivered.
Yes. But Emery has 1.5 years at Arsenal, and we still can't tell which philosophy he has.
So-called big team is playing Brighton. Who is going to win?
Mambo, let me tell you one thing. There are things that you're not even supposed to be asking me. There are things you just have to generate automatically from your brain. Look at how Manchester United has been performing against small teams, leave alone big teams. That's what I was telling you. Rashford performs against big teams because they've been performing as a team better against big teams. But when you talk about against Brighton, that's definitely a loss or a draw. It's a loss or a draw from Manchester United. I don't know if they get complacent. I don't know if they just relax when they say, it's a small team, we're going to hammer them. Then they've been surprised, the likes of Bournemouth, with Joshua King, their former United player, with a fantastic goal. And I think it's going to be a tough game for Manchester United. If they happen to scoop a draw or win from that game, and God help us.
It's going to be a tough game for Manchester United when they play Brighton, because they are fighting off relegation as they have been classified as a relegation team by Giddy. And Leicester vs Arsenal, it's a game we are going to watch, but the biggest game coming weekend is Man City vs Liverpool, who is going to come on top of the game. Stay tuned to Kenya Fan TV for the analysis, and Join us next week when we take center stage on the midfield. Thank you, guys.